The air in Delhi hangs thick with anticipation. It's July 5th, 2025, and India stands at a crossroads, caught between a decade of saffron-clad certainty and an unwritten future. The 2024 general election sent shockwaves. The once invincible BJP, led by Narendra Modi, was forced into a coalition, signaling the end of an era of singular authority. This isn't just about one party's decline, but about Indian democracy itself. How a nation, once mesmerized by promises of strength, began to question the cost. Economic anxieties, social fractures, and a yearning for a more inclusive India are fueling a new, messy but vibrant political conversation. As the BJP's dominance fades, the question remains, what rises in its place, a stable alternative, or a period of chaotic uncertainty? To understand the shift, we must remember the scale of the BJP's power. Modi's 2014 victory was a political earthquake, promising decisive governance and a new national identity. For a decade, the BJP seemed unstoppable, centralizing power and pushing through controversial policies like the abrogation of Article 370 and the Citizenship Amendment Act. The Modi brand became synonymous with India, his face on welfare schemes, his voice dominating the narrative. Critics warned of democratic erosion, but the opposition was in disarray, unable to counter the BJP's organizational might. The idea of India was being redefined, history rewritten, and dissent marginalized. Yet beneath the triumph, discontent simmered, economic promises unmet, and the cost of a singular identity questioned. The seeds of change were quietly taking root. While headlines celebrated India's rise, millions felt left behind. Youth unemployment soared, inflation bit hard, and the government's grand pronouncements felt disconnected from daily struggles. The farmers' protests became a turning point. Organized resistance forced the government to retreat, inspiring others to challenge authority. Ethnic violence in Manipur and rising communal tensions exposed cracks in the image of strong governance. Reports of authoritarian tactics, crackdowns on NGOs, media pressure, and the use of central agencies sparked fears for democracy's health. Dissent, once stifled, began to grow louder. The cost of a strong government was now being debated in homes across the country. The question, was India losing its soul in pursuit of power? For years, the opposition was divided and weak, no match for the BJP's might. But growing discontent forced change. The India bloc was born, a messy alliance of rivals united by necessity. Despite public disagreements and fragile egos, they pooled resources and presented a united front in 2024, denting the BJP's majority and proving an alternative was possible. Leaders like Rahul Gandhi gained new respect, connecting with people on core issues and bypassing hostile media. State elections tested and strengthened the alliance, with victories in places like Jammu and Kashmir symbolizing pushback against central policies. Even in defeat, the opposition's spirited fights kept pressure on the BJP. The focus shifted to livelihood issues, not divisive ideology. The opposition learned to coordinate, cede space, and build a common minimum program. The storm was gathering. Beyond formal politics, a digital uprising was reshaping India's political conversation. The BJP's dominance on social media was challenged by a new generation, digitally native, politically aware, and unafraid. Memes, satire, and viral videos became tools of dissent, with independent creators fact-checking claims and exposing hypocrisy. These digital warriors built massive followings, creating a parallel media ecosystem that reached skeptical youth. Hashtag campaigns and on-the-ground reports kept issues like Manipur and unemployment in the public eye, even when mainstream media looked away. Information was democratized. Young people became active participants, not passive consumers. Questioning the government became patriotic, not anti-national. This digital awakening was crucial in shifting political winds. It set the stage for a major political upset. The 2029 election was unlike any before. Narendra Modi was no longer the BJP's face. The party, weakened by coalition pressures and a lack of charismatic leadership, struggled to inspire. Old slogans fell flat. The public demanded answers on jobs and the economy. The India bloc, now coordinated and focused, framed the election as a choice between failed promises and a new inclusive vision. Regional leaders mobilized support, making local issues central. The BJP's seat count plummeted. The India bloc and regional allies crossed the majority mark. The era of single-party dominance ended in a stunning reversal. India voted for change, ushering in uncertainty but also hope. The euphoria of victory faded quickly as the new coalition government faced the reality of governing. Dozens of parties, each with its own agenda, made cabinet formation a tense public negotiation. Policy paralysis set in. Every decision required endless compromise, often pleasing no one. Regional parties demanded more power, turning federalism into a daily battle cry. The Prime Minister's office lost its central authority. Chief ministers gained influence. The government lurched from crisis to crisis, testing the limits of unity and stability. Yet power was decentralizing, messy, inefficient, but more democratic. The question, could this coalition survive its contradictions and deliver stability? India's delicate balance of power was being tested as never before. The future of governance hung in the balance. With a new government came demands for accountability. Investigations into the previous regime's excesses dominated headlines, but quickly turned into a political slugfest. The media, now freer, covered every twist, while civil society and activists seized the moment to demand transparency from both old and new leaders. The public sphere became vibrant but contentious, with scrutiny at every turn. The challenge: how to pursue justice without descending into revenge or paralysis. The new government walked a tightrope. Push too hard, risk instability, do too little, betray the mandate. This reckoning would define the legacy of India's new era. As India navigates the post-BJP era, a deeper question emerges. What does it mean to be a democracy? The fall of a dominant force reaffirmed the supremacy of the voter and the resilience of Indian democracy. The shift from centralized power to a messy coalition reflects India's complex plural identity. Challenges remain: economic uncertainty, social fault lines, and the risk of instability. Yet, there's renewal. Institutions regain strength, public discourse is vibrant, and youth engagement is at an all-time high. This messy transition is a sign of a democracy capable of self-correction. The future is unwritten. Will India embrace pluralism and shared power, or revert to strongman rule if chaos prevails? The soul of India lies in how its people choose to answer that question.